CFS. Okay, topic is cash flow statement. So, what do you mean by cash flow in general? Cash flow means what? The flow of cash. Okay, very good. Because you're also learning in your entrepreneurship, like cash flow means what? Inflow and outflow. There are two different flows. So, the topic what we are going to discuss is it's a cash flow statement, which we shortly call as CFS. So, a business needs something called as finance. Okay, a business needs something called as a finance, and this finance only if it has in a correct proportion, you can expect the business to earn something called as an income, and that income will be generated or will be converted as a profit, and it all comes to the okay operations from the business operations. So a business has got something called as a business operation, and it needs finance to run the business operation, and then it will earn some income from the business operation, and that earning will lead to a profit. So obviously when you do a business, the cash will have a flow, which is nothing but there are two different flows as I already said. Okay, inflow and outflow. So you can see here it will be as one will be as an inflow, and the another one will be as an outflow. And this chapter is having a weightage of totally 8 marks. This one chapter has got a total weightage of 8 marks out of your 80 marks, which means sure one question will be of 6 marks. Okay, how the 8 marks will be is one question will be of 6 marks question, and two 1 mark question. So altogether it will be for 8 marks. This is a weightage, the split up of this particular chapter. And as it says very clearly, meaning of cash flow statement, a cash flow is basically a statement, okay, and it is an important tool which is being used to track the flow of cash, and it is a sources for an organization to understand from where we got the funds. That is the reason even in our project we are using this tool, cash flow statement, as a financial tool to assess how the inflow and outflow of cash has done during a particular period of time. It is also known as statement of cash flow. So cash flow statement is otherwise known as statement of cash flow. And this particular statement is being prepared based on the guidelines of accounting standard AS3. So this is very important. In this chapter, you are learning something called AS. AS is nothing but accounting standards. Okay, accounting standard 3. Okay, so AS3, based on the assumption of AS3 only, we are preparing the format of cash flow statement. So basically, you can see the flow are of two types. One is inflow and the other one is outflow. Yeah. Okay. So basically, as you can see, the two flows, inflow and outflow. And what are the concepts that we are going to learn and the contents in this chapter is just for your okay idea. We are going to learn something called as preparation of accounts. There are some accounts which we need to prepare in addition to the statement of cash flow. and there are something called the list of activities. So basically in cash flow statement there are three important activities. They are number one, operating activity, number two, investing activity, and number three, financing activities. So we are going to learn what are those activities and how it is being associated with our business and what we need to do when we are preparing a cash flow statement and what are the accounts that we need to prepare, the list of accounts. Next, you will be taken through the format of CFS. So how the CFS format looks like, how we need to prepare it. And then you will be given an important or additional points which you need to keep in your mind while doing the calculations, and you will be working out a full-fledged question which is for practice, that is of 6 marks questions, and then there will be some basic questions which is nothing but a checkpoint questions of 1 mark question which is a short type one. So these are the things which we are going to cover under CFS. Now in cash flow statement there is something called as cash and cash equivalent. This you would have also come across when you are doing your major head and subhead. Do you remember when you done cash major and subhead? There was something called as cash and cash equivalent. Okay, so under this head, cash and cash equivalent, what are all the items that will be recorded? If you ask, these are items: cash in hand, cash at bank, then demand draft, bonds, not bank overdraft. Bank overdraft will not come under the category of cash and cash equivalent. Okay, because bank overdraft will come under the short-term borrowings. Okay, current liability. Okay, this draft is nothing but demand draft. For example, when you are going to go for any some competitions, they will ask you to take DD, demand draft, in favor of some particular party. So that is what we call as draft, demand draft. Okay, and bonds. Then there is something called marketable securities, which is usually a short term. If it's a short term, then they will be called as cash and cash equivalent. That short term is nothing but ranging a period of 90 days maturity. Then they are called as cash and cash equivalent. So I repeat, these are the concepts. So cash and cash equivalent consists of cash in hand, cash at bank, drafts, that is demand draft and bonds, and marketable securities, which is for a short period of time, which is not exceeding 90 days period. Up to this, you have any doubt? Hello? Vibhu, do you have any doubt up to this? No, do you have any doubt? I'm asking you. Okay. Next is, okay. Let us see what is the first one. Preparation of accounts. Kindly take notes parallelly, Kana. Okay. So preparation of accounts, if you see, under this you have got first category, preparation of accounts. There are four important. Yeah, you're audible, Kana. You're audible. Okay. Under this preparation of accounts, we have got four important accounts. Okay, we have four important accounts. What are they? If you ask, they are listed below. Number one, preparation of fixed asset account. So, what is the first account? That is fixed asset account. Now, what can be recorded under this? If you ask, usually you will have plant and machinery account, land and building account, furniture account. So any fixed asset, whatever is given in the question, based on that, if there is a necessity, you will prepare the fixed asset account. So we'll see what is the format, how the fixed asset account format will be. What are the items to be taken to the fixed asset account? All those things you will be taught today. Okay, so the first one is fixed asset account, and the second one is investment account. Okay, the second one is investment account. Okay, first account is fixed asset account. The second account is investment account. Now, what is the difference between these two accounts? If you ask, there is only one difference. Okay, fixed asset account will be having, okay, either depreciation or it will have amortization. Your fixed asset account will be either having a depreciation or it will have amortization. Whereas in your investment case, okay, no depreciation, no amortization. There is no depreciation or amortization. Okay, that is the difference between these two. Apart from that, these two will resemble the same format. In format case, the format will not have any variations. Format looks similar, but only thing is fixed asset account will have depreciation as an item or amortization as an item, whereas that will not be there in your investment account. Is it clear to you? Okay. The third one, what we are going to prepare is, it is called as provision for tax. Okay, what is that? The third account is provision for tax. Now, what is the significance of this third account? If you ask, the third account is provision for tax. This provision for tax, okay, will have to be prepared only when there is a necessity. Okay, if at all the question has some additional information, you will prepare it. By preparing this provision for tax, we will get any one out of the following. Okay, so provision for tax will give us, okay, either the amount of tax paid during the year, okay, tax paid during the year, or amount of provision made during the year. Okay, that means any one will be there in the question. Provision for tax account prepare பண்ணும்போது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, okay, suppose if the question has tax paid, then you will get provision made. If they are given you provision made, then you will get tax paid. So it will be like a vice versa. Okay, so if tax paid is given the question, then you will get provision made, or if provision made is given the question, you will get your balancing figure as tax paid. Can you able to understand? Okay, when we do the problem, you'll have a clarity, right? The next one is, it is an account where you will be preparing two items together: fixed asset account and accumulated depreciation account. Okay, the fourth case is a case where you will prepare fixed asset account and accumulated depreciation account. Okay, so fixed asset account and accumulated depreciation account. Okay, these two will be prepared together. So this account, okay, fixed asset account and accumulated depreciation account will be prepared only when the question has got some information about accumulated depreciation. So apart from that, if you don't have any information regarding accumulated depreciation, then only fixed asset will prepare. So this is a case where you will prepare both fixed asset and accumulated depreciation. Now you should also understand one thing. There is another name for accumulated depreciation. Accumulated depreciation, also known as, okay, it is also known as provision for depreciation. What is the other name? Provision for depreciation. Okay, so accumulated depreciation is otherwise known as or also known as provision for depreciation. So these are the four accounts that we are going to learn. Okay, how to prepare, what is the format, and what does it gives us as an end result. Because preparing each account should have some objective. Okay, why do we prepare this and how to prepare it? We are going to learn all those things. Now, some questions or from understanding one. If in the question accumulated depreciation, or if it is mentioned depreciation, or if it is given provision for depreciation is given inside the balance sheet, okay, they are given inside the balance sheet, and some information in additional point. Okay, that means the items appearing in two places, one inside the balance sheet and some, okay, in the additional points. Then two accounts are maintained. That is, fixed asset account should be prepared and accumulated depreciation account should be prepared. So now I hope it is clear to you. When you prepare this fixed asset and accumulated depreciation, when some information regarding depreciation or accumulated depreciation or provision for depreciation is given inside your balance sheet and also outside the balance sheet as additional information, in such case you have to prepare both fixed asset account and accumulated depreciation account. Is this clear to you? Is this clear to you, Kana? Okay. The next one, if you see, that is the formats. Now we are going to learn the formats of all those four accounts. Okay, so formats we are going to learn it. So all the accounts are basically ledger account. So you should have debit side and you should have the credit side. So since I have not mentioned what is a fixed asset, it is a general heading as fixed asset. Suppose if it's the question they are given you as a machinery, then it will be recorded as machinery account. Okay, for example, here, okay, it is mentioned as fixed asset. Suppose if it is a machinery, then you will be recording this as machinery account. Okay, for example, I'm going to strike this and I'm going to record this machinery account. So this is a general format to understand whatever is a fixed asset given the question, you'll write that particular account name. Okay, so here it is a missionary account. Just I'm giving you an example. So as you know very well that assets, basically an asset will show what balance. Assets will show what balance, debit balance or credit balance. Usually assets will show what balance. Exactly. Assets, okay, will show debit balance. Okay, usually assets will show debit balance. So that is the reason in the format you could find that the opening balance, you have marked down the debit side to balance brought down. This is your opening balance. When you are recording the opening balance, immediately simultaneously you also record the closing balance. So opening balance will be appearing on the debit side, closing balance will appear on the credit side. So closing balance will be recorded as by balance C bar D. Can you able to understand? Can you able to understand? So assets will show debit balance. This is for opening. Okay, whereas closing balance will appear on credit. Any doubt up to this stage to understand? Okay. The next one, what else will record is when you are purchasing an asset, okay, a fixed asset, what will be the journal entry for purchase of fixed asset? For the purchase of fixed asset, what is the journal? Purchase of fixed asset. Journal entry. Tell me the journal entry, then you'll understand. Purchase of fixed assets to cash or bank. Okay, very good. So fixed assets account is debited to cash or bank account. Okay, this is one transaction. Now, what will be the journal entry for the sale of fixed asset? So, sale of fixed assets. Entry for sale of fixed assets. Excellent. Good. Cash or bank account is debited to fixed assets account. Okay. What will be the journal entry for charging depreciation on fixed asset? Depreciation on fixed asset. Yeah, that is depreciation entry. Depreciation entry on fixed asset. Very good. Excellent. Okay, so depreciation account is debited to fixed asset account. Okay. Now you know one thing that whenever a sale happens, okay, when a sale takes place, okay, sales will lead to an end result. Either you may get a profit on sale, okay, you'll get profit on sale. If not, you'll end up with loss on sale. Do you agree? When there is a sales, okay, when sales happens, there will be a result of either profit or there will be a result of loss. Any one only will happen, right? Okay, now let us try to explore the journal entry for that profit or loss. First, let us go for the profit on sale of fixed asset. So profit on sale, okay, of fixed assets. So profit on sale. What will be the journal entry for profit on sale of fixed asset? Hmm. Yes. Okay. No, no, no. No. The entry for profit on sale is fixed asset account is debited. Okay, fixed asset account is debited to profit and loss account. Okay, this is the entry for profit on sale. For loss on sale, what will be a journal entry? profit and loss account is debited to fixed assets account. Now, why I have passed all these entries is only if you know this entry, you'll be able to understand why we are recording this item on which side of the fixed asset. So these are the items which are associated to fixed asset. You buy a fixed asset, you charge depreciation on fixed asset, and then you will be okay selling a fixed asset. You will earn a profit on sale of fixed assets, or you will encounter a loss on sale of fixed assets. Obviously, if you're not done any sale of fixed assets, then you will definitely charge depreciation on it. Then automatically they will show a different balance at the beginning of the next year when compared to the previous year balance. So the balance will keep reducing year over year. So you'll have opening balance and closing balance as the case may be. So now let us understand the format. So this makes you easy. Okay, so here you can see you had the opening balance recorded on the debit side, to balance brought down, closing a record on the credit side. I think this you don't have any doubt, right? Okay. Now suppose if the question has given you an information during the year, a piece of machinery has been sold. That means sales information is given to you. So what is a journal entry for sale of fixed asset? Sale of fixed asset journal entry in there. So when you are working out on a ledger of fixed assets, in fixed asset account, where will you show cash or bank? In ledger. Okay, fixed asset or ledgerல cash or bank எங்க காட்டுவீங்க? Debitல காட்டுவீங்களா? Creditல காட்டுவீங்களா? Where will you show? Very good. Excellent. So that is what you are shown here. By bank, sorry, by cash or by bank, the sale value, that amount. Clear? Is it clear to you? Okay. Now the next one is when you are charging depreciation for a fixed asset, what is the journal that you pass? Okay. Now when you are preparing a fixed asset ledger, where will you show the depreciation? On the debit side or on the credit side? By depreciation. So that is what you are mentioned here as by depreciation on the credit side with the value whatever you get it. Got it? Okay. As I mentioned here, when you are getting a sale, the sale will lead to a profit or loss. If it is a profit on sale, what is the journal entry? Okay, so fixed asset account is debited to cash to profit and loss. Now tell me, where will you show profit and loss in fixed asset account? Debit side or credit side? Very good. So that's the reason if you see here, okay, you have got two profit and loss account. Profit, the value will be appearing here. Clear? Is it clear to you? Suppose if it is a loss, if it's a loss, then it will be appearing on the opposite side by P&L account, the value over here. Now, what is the major junk if you see? Usually we prepare this fixed asset account in order to derive what amount of fixed assets that we have purchased during the year. ஸோ ஃபிக்ஸட் அசெட் அக்கௌண்ட் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணுறதுக்கு மெயின் அப்ஜெக்டிவ் என்ன அந்த இயரில் நம்ம எவ்வளோ ஃபிக்ஸட் அசெட்ஸை பர்ச்சேஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கணுங்கிறத வந்து கண்டுபிடிக்கிறதுக்கு. ஸோ அப்போது இதெல்லாம் ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணால் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்லி போத் த சைட்ஸ் வில் டேலி. யூஸ்வலாக பார்த்தா நமக்கு கிரெடிட் சைட் வேல்யூ அதிகமாக இருக்கும், ஷார்ட்டேஜ் டெபிட் சைடு வரும். அந்த வேல்யூ தான் நம்ம என்ன பண்ணோம் டூ பேங்க்னு போட்டு பர்ச்சேசஸ் சொல்லி பேலன்சிங் ஃபிகரை ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணோம். இப்போ பாருங்க, நீங்கள் பர்ச்சேஸ் பண்ணீங்கன்னா ஃபிக்ஸட் அசெட் நீங்கள் பர்ச்சேஸ் பண்ணும்போது என்ன என்ட்ரி போடுறீங்க? When you're buying a fixed asset, what entry you're passing on? Okay, so where will you show this cash or bank in fixed asset account? So that means you prepare the fixed asset account, but you don't know what is the purchase that they are not given you in the question. In order to derive the purchases, this account, once you prepare it, you will have some indifference on the debit side and the credit side. So the balance will be short on the debit side, that will be declared as the purchases that what you have done during the year. Got it? So this is the crux of this particular account, fixed asset account. Any doubt in fixed asset account? Yeah, yeah. So now we have completed the fixed asset account. We are moving on to a second account called investment account. I hope in fixed asset you don't have any doubt, right? Do you have any doubt in understanding fixed asset account? No. Right. Now the next account is investment account. Only difference in the investment account is you will not have depreciation. Other things remain same. Investment is also an asset, so opening balance will be on the debit side. Closing balance of that investment will be recorded on the credit side. And the investment can also be sold during the year. When you sell the investment, you get cash or bank. So that will be recorded on the credit side as buy cash, sale of investment. And as you know very well that when sales takes place, you encounter with a profit or loss on sale. If suppose it is a profit, then it will be recorded on the debit side as to profit and loss account profit. If it's a loss, you'll record as by profit and loss account as loss. And then once these items are recorded, you have to close your investment account. Normally, your investment account will also not get automatically adjusted. There will be some shortage. That shortage will definitely appear only on the debit side, and that will be denoted as further purchase of investment. So you have purchased few more investment. So you record as to bank account and the value over here. Now this purchase is nothing but the purchase of investment what you have done during the year. So ultimate objective of investment account is to find out the purchases what you have done during the year. As simple as the case that what it was in case of your fixed asset account. So fixed asset account prepare பண்றதுக்கு main objective to understand how much fixed assets that we have purchased during the year. In the same way, even investments accounts are also being prepared to find out the amount of purchase of that particular investment what has happened during the year. Is it clear to you? Okay, that's the crux of this particular account, that is investment account is. Hope it is clear to you. Only difference, as I said, there you will have depreciation. Okay, if you see in your fixed asset account, you had depreciation over here. but investment will not have depreciation because it has only appreciation. So that's the reason investment will not bear the depreciation account either on debit side or on the credit side. Hope I'm making sense to you. Right. The next third one account, the third account what we are going to learn is it's called provision for tax account. Okay, the third account is provision for tax account. So you have the debit side and the credit side. Now you should understand one concept. Last year in grade 11 you have learned something called as provisions and reserves. Both this provision and reserves are basically a liabilities. Okay, if it is a provision or if it's a reserve, both provisions and reserves are an liability. Being a liability, okay, any account that falls under the category of liability will show what balance? Will show what balance? Liabilities will show what balance? Very good. Okay, they will show credit balance. So that is the reason in your question they are given what is the old balances. That is the previous year balance. That will be your opening. So you'll record over here as by balance brought down, opening balance. Simultaneously, you record the closing balance on the opposite direction, which will be as to balance C bar D. That's a closing balance. Any doubt in this? Okay. And I said very clearly, okay, the objective of preparing the provision for tax account is to ensure how much amount of tax has been paid or how much is the amount of tax that has been made, provision has been made. So that's what we are doing it. This account is prepared to ensure the amount of tax paid or the amount of provision made. So suppose if in the question they are given you during the year how much you are allocated for provision for tax, that means how much you are allocated during the year, then in that case it is again you have created a provision, further provision, you are allocating further provisions for tax. So provision being a liability, even additional provision that what you has made will appear on the liability side. So it will be recorded as by provision and sorry by profit and loss account. Okay, by profit and loss account. Now you may ask, why am I using profit and loss account? Because one thing you should know, whether it be a provision or a reserve, okay, both these items are okay segregated or they're kept aside out of the profits. Okay, kept aside out of profits. So from the profits of the business only, you are just allocating the provisions or reserves. So that is the reason you are touching the profit and loss account. Okay. So if you are creating a further provision during the year, then it will be recorded in this particular head by profit and loss account. Within a bracket, you can mention as provision for tax you have made during the year. Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this? Okay. Now, what will be the journal entry for payment of tax? That is when provision has been made and it has been paid. So, payment towards tax. It will be as provision for tax account is debited to cash or bank account. So that means when they have given you provision for tax made during the year, then obviously your tax paid will be the balancing figure. So it will be appearing as to bank. The balancing amount is nothing but tax paid. So the amount of tax paid will be appearing on the debit side. So this is what the concept is. Tax paid கொடுத்திருக்கானா provision made கிடைக்கும். Provision made கொடுத்திருக்கானா அப்போ balancing figureங்கிறது tax paid ஆ இருக்கும். So that is what I have given you a arrow. You can see here. It is a cyclic one. If suppose tax paid is given the question, you will get provision made. Suppose if provision made is given the question, then you'll get the final answer as tax paid. So tax paid will appear on which side? Debit side. Okay, this will be appearing on the debit side of provision for tax account. Okay, provision for tax account. Whereas provision made will be appearing on the credit side of provision for tax account. Any doubt? Any doubt? Able to understand the concepts? Okay, so this is the concept of your provision for tax account. So end of the day, the provision for tax account is prepared to either derive the value of tax paid or to derive the value of provision made. Nothing else apart from this. So each and every account what you are preparing will give you something as an end output, something as a result. That's what you have to understand what it is. Clear? Okay. The next one we'll be learning something called as the two important account, that is your fixed asset account, as well as your other one is accumulated depreciation account. But before that, we have now learned three important accounts out of the four. Let's try to have some knowledge session. What will be the value in each of the following cases? Now, some test based questions are given to you. Okay, question number one. This is a balance sheet, a rough balance sheet. Okay, all information is a rough balance sheet. Particulars, this is for the year 31st of March 2022 and this is for the year 31st of March 2021. Now tell me which is your current year and which is your previous year. Very good. So this is the previous year, this is your current year. And make sure we will be preparing the CFS only for the current year. So அந்தந்த இயருக்கு தான் நம்ம ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணுவோம். Okay, but we make use of the previous year data to prepare some accounts or to fulfill the values in some areas. So that's the reason they're given 2 years inputs. Now outside the balance sheet, they are given you one input called as tax. Rupees 70,000 was paid during the year. அப்போ என்ன கொடுத்துருக்கான் உனக்கு பாரு, இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் பார்த்தா பர்டிகுலர்ஸில் ப்ரொவிஷன் ஃபார் டேக்ஸ். ஸோ ப்ரொவிஷன் ஃபார் டேக்ஸ் ஒரு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கொடுத்துருக்கான் 2 இயர்ஸுக்கு. ஓகே, 70,000 90,000 சொல்லி கொடுத்துருக்கான். ஓகே, அதோட என்ன சொல்லி கொடுத்துருக்கான் அடிஷனல் இன்ஃபர்மேஷனில் டேக்ஸ் பெய்டு கொடுத்துருக்கானா டேக்ஸ் மேடு கொடுத்துருக்கானா ப்ரொவிஷன் மேடு கொடுத்துருக்கானா என்ன கொடுத்துருக்கான்? வாட் தே கிவன் இன் அடிஷனல் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன்? பெய்டு கொடுத்துருக்கான். அப்போ பெய்டு கொடுத்தனா உனக்கு என்ன கிடைக்கும்? ப்ரொவிஷன் மேடு கிடைக்கும். ஸோ கொஸ்டின் என்ன கொடுத்துருக்காம பார்க்கணும். ப்ரொவிஷன் பெய்டு டேக்ஸ் பெய்டு கொடுத்தனா அப்போ ப்ரொவிஷன் மேடு கிடைக்கும். அதே சப்போஸ் கொஸ்டின்ல ஃபர்தர் ப்ரொவிஷன் மேடு கொடுத்தனா அப்போ என்ன கிடைக்கும் உனக்கு? பெய்டு கொடுத்தனா மேடு கிடைக்கும், ப்ரொவிஷன் மேடு கிடைக்கும். ப்ரொவிஷன் மேடு கொடுத்தனா என்ன கிடைக்கும் உனக்கு? Paid கிடைக்கும். That's something which you have to understand. Okay, so if suppose the question has the input of tax paid கொடுத்திருக்கானாக்க, okay, then you will be getting provision made. Okay, so tax paid கொடுத்தனா you will get provision made. இல்லையா உனக்கு the other way, provision made கொடுத்திருக்கானா அப்போ உனக்கு என்ன கிடைக்கும்? tax paid கிடைக்கும். Okay, so simple words, given, okay, derive. If this is given to you, tax paid is given to you, you will derive provision made. If provision made is given to you, you will be deriving tax paid. Able to understand the link between these two? Okay. Now we have to prepare the provision for tax account. Always remember the previous year closing balance will be the current year's opening balance. That you understand, right? What we learned in for closing stock. Last year closing stock is current year opening stock. In the same way, for every account, whatever the closing balance of the last year will be the opening balance of the current year. Our previous year or the balance 90,000 இருக்கு. What is this balance then? This is your what balance is? Opening balance. And current year on the closing balance. This will be your closing balance. இது அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிக்க முடியுதா? Now we have to prepare provision for tax account. So I am opening provision for tax account. இப்போ ஓப்பனிங் எங்க காட்டணும்? டெபிட்ல காட்டுவேனா இல்ல கிரெடிட்ல காட்டுவேனா? Where will I record the opening? Because it's a liability. So அப்போ by balance brought down ஓப்பனிங் எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? 90 இருக்கு. 90,000 ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணிட்டேன். கையோட க்ளோசிங்க போட்டுரு. க்ளோசிங் எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? 70. அப்போ ஆப்போசிட் சைடில் 2 பேலன்ஸ் சி பார் தி க்ளோசிங் பேலன்ஸ் 70. ரைட். அடுத்த என்ன கொடுத்துருக்கான் பாருங்க, டேக்ஸ் ருபீஸ் 70,000 வாஸ் பெய்டு டியூரிங் தி இயர் கொடுத்துருக்கான். அப்போ பேமெண்ட் நம்ம பண்ணியிருக்கிறது எங்கே காட்டுவோம்? டெபிட்ல காட்டுவோமா இல்லை கிரெடிட்ல காட்டுவோமா? பேமெண்ட் ஆஃப் டேக்ஸ் டெபிட். ஸோ அதனால டூ பேங்க் அக்கௌண்ட் போட்டு வித்தின் அ பிராக்கெட் டேக்ஸ் பெய்ட் 70 ஆர் ரெக்கார்டிங் ஹியர். That's it. We have taken all the three informations what are available. இது எடுத்தாச்சு, இது எடுத்தாச்சு, இது எடுத்தாச்சு. இப்போ க்ளோஸ் பண்ணுங்க லெட்ஜரை. அப்போ என்ன பண்ணுங்க? 70,000 plus 7,000 is 1,40,000. பட் இங்க உங்களுக்கு ஒன்லி 90 தான் இருக்கு. அப்போ டிஃபரன்ஸ் எவ்வளவு வருது? 1,40,000க்கும் 90க்கும் 50,000. ஸோ அது உங்களுக்கு கிரெடிட் சைடு தான் வருது. ஸோ யூல் ரெக்கார்ட் த பேலன்ஸ் ஆன் த கிரெடிட் சைடு இஸ் 50,000 and you'll name this as by P&L account because it is nothing but the provision for tax you have made during the year. ஏன்னா அதான் நம்ம கண்டுபிடிக்கணும். பெய்டு கொடுத்தனா மேடு கிடைக்கும். ஸோ அப்போ இந்த சம்பளம் உங்களுக்கு எந்த கேஸ்? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கேஸ். ஓகே, இட் பிலாங்ஸ் டு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒன். எனக்கு டேக்ஸ் பெய்டு கொடுத்துருந்தா ப்ரொவிஷன் மேட் கிடைச்சாச்சா? எஸ், கிடைச்சாச்சு. புரியுதா? Can you understand? Any doubt? Okay. Now let us understand a second question. Okay, a simple question so that you'll have a concept clarity. What are you learned so far? Question number 2. You are given a fixed asset value of rupees 9 lakh 60 and 12 lakhs. First, let us make sure which is a current year and previous year. Two different years are given to us. 31/3/22, 31/3/21. Which is your current year? Very good. So current year, previous year. Okay, so we got the value of fixed assets for both the years. The next is they given you provision for tax. Current year value is 30, previous year value was 2,25,000. Next, they are given you investment value. Current year it is 1,80,000, previous year it is 1,50,000. Now they are given you some additional information. Provision for tax made during the year, how much? 27,000. Now tell me in this case what they are giving you provision for tax. What they are giving you provision for tax. இல்ல provision for tax என்ன கொடுத்திருக்க? additional information சொல்றேன். provision for tax என்ன கொடுத்திருக்க? made கொடுத்திருக்கா, paid கொடுத்திருக்கா? made கொடுத்திருக்கு. அப்ப made கொடுத்தா உனக்கு என்ன கிடைக்கணும்? paid கிடைக்கணும். that is your objective. so என்ன கொடுத்திருக்கான்னு பார்க்கணும். made கொடுத்தனா paid கிடைக்கணும், paid கொடுத்தனா made கிடைக்கணும். ஓகேவா? ரைட். அப்போ provision for tax அக்கௌண்ட் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணணும். இப்போ இந்த क्वेश्चनல உனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச ஃபர்ஸ்ட் என்ன? you have to prepare okay provision for tax account. ஓகே, அடுத்து என்ன அக்கௌண்ட் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணணும்னு பார்ப்போம். Next information given the question is during the year a part of a fixed asset costing rupees 30,000 was sold for 36,000. அப்போ ஃபிக்ஸட் அசெட்டை பற்றி ஒரு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கொடுத்துருக்கான். ஒரு பார்ட் ஆஃப் an asset has been sold அப்படின்ட்டு for rupees 36,000. The profit were okay included in the statement of profit and loss account சொல்லிருக்கான். So profit has been included in the statement of P&L சொல்லிருக்கான். So அப்போ obviously என்ன பண்ணணும், you have to prepare fixed asset account also. புரியுதா? Okay, you have to prepare even the fixed asset account also. You know, you have purchased, you have sold, all these things are there. Okay, right. What's the next one? If you see, the third one is investments. Costing value rupees 24,000 was sold during the year 25,500. So, up in the case, the third account, investment account, you prepare. Okay, you have to prepare even the investment account. Let's start one after the other. So, first, என்ன account prepare பண்ணணும்? First, என்ன account prepare பண்ணணும்? Provision for tax. So, first you prepare the provision for tax account. Now, tell you what is the opening balance of provision for tax? Previous year value opening balance இருக்கும். Previous year value எவ்வளவு இருக்கு பாரு. 12 lakhs அதெல்லாம் பாரு. 2,25,000. அப்போ opening balance will be on which side? Debit side or credit side? Very good. So by balance brought down, okay, the opening balance 2,25,000 are showing it on a credit side. கையோட க்ளோசிங் பேலன்ஸும் போட்டு க்ளோசிங் பேலன்ஸ் எவ்வளோ இருக்கு? எஸ் 30 இருக்கு. அப்போ அந்த 30,000 எங்கே வரும்? டெபிட்ல ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணுவேன். ஸோ டூ பேலன்ஸ் சி பார் தி 30,000. இப்போ அடிஷனல் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் என்ன கொடுத்துருக்கான்? ப்ரொவிஷன் ஃபார் டேக்ஸ் மேடு கொடுத்துருக்கான். என்ன கொடுத்துருக்கான்? உனக்கு ப்ரொவிஷன் ஃபார் டேக்ஸ் மேடு கொடுத்துருக்கான். அப்போ மேட்னா அது எந்த பக்கம் வரும்? ஃபர்தர் ப்ரொவிஷன்ஸ். அப்போ டெபிட்ல வருமா கிரெடிட்ல வருமா? அது கிரெடிட்ல வரும். So you'll record as by P&L account, profit and loss. Within a bracket, you'll record as provision for tax made. என்ன அமௌண்ட் நீங்க ப்ரொவிஷன் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க, மேட் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க? 20 27,000. ஸோ அதை இங்க ரெக்கார்ட் பண்றீங்க. Now total the accounts, debit side, credit side separately. So 2 lakh 25 plus ஒரு 27,000 will give you 2 lakh 52,000, right? ஓகே, இங்க 2 lakh 50 தான் இருக்கு, பட் இந்த சைடு வெறும் 30 தான் இருக்கு. அப்போ find out the difference between 2 lakh 52,000 minus 30,000. What will be your answer? So what is the value? What's the difference value? Hello? Hello? Vibhu? Yeah. Yes, now you're audible. Tell me. 2 lakh 22,000. So that is nothing but that is the amount of your tax paid. So to bank, tax paid 2 lakh 20,000. Now your account will get balance. Hope you understood this first account, provision for tax account. So first you have learned it without values as a dummy value, imaginary amounts, XXX. Now you are just preparing the same with the values. Okay. Now moving on to second account, what we have to prepare? Fixed asset account. So preparation of fixed asset account. Okay. Debit side and credit side. Now see what is the opening balance that you have for fixed asset. Fixed asset opening balance எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? வெரி குட். 12 லேக்ஸ் இருக்கு. இப்போ அசட்டோட ஓப்பனிங் பேலன்ஸ் டெபிட்ல வருமா? கிரெடிட்ல வருமா? வெரி குட். அப்போ டெபிட்ல பார்த்தீங்கன்னாக்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் யூ ரெக்கார்டிங் டூ பேலன்ஸ் brought down the 12 lakhs rupees. ஓப்பனிங் பேலன்ஸ் இறக்கும் போதே கையோட என்ன பண்றது? க்ளோசிங் பேலன்ஸையும் இறக்கு. எவ்வளோ இருக்கு க்ளோசிங் பேலன்ஸ்? ஃபிக்ஸட் அசெட்டுக்கு 9 லேக் 16 இருக்கு. அப்படியே அந்த க்ளோசிங்கை கிரெடிட் சைடில் பை பேலன்ஸ் சி பாரதி 9 லேக் 60 இருக்கு. ஓகே. இப்போ இந்த ஃபிக்ஸட் அசெட் பத்தி என்ன ஒரு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க பாருங்க. டியூரிங் த இயர் a part of a fixed asset costing rupees 30 was sold for எவ்வளவு சொல்லியிருக்கான்? 36,000 சொல்லியிருக்கானா? அப்போ சேல் வேல்யூ எவ்வளவு சொல்லியிருக்கான்? சேல் பிரைஸ் எவ்வளவு கொடுத்துருக்கான்? 36. அப்போ சேல் எந்த பக்கம் காட்டும்? டெபிட் சைடா கிரெடிட் சைடா? ஃபிக்ஸட் அசெட் சேல் பண்ணோம்னா எங்க வரும்? டெபிட்டா கிரெடிட்லயா? வெரி குட். ஸோ அப்போ கிரெடிட் சைடு என்ன பண்றேன் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பை பேங்க் சேல்ஸ் அந்த சேல் வேல்யூ 36 ரெக்கார்ட் பண்றேன். புரியுதா? ஓகே. இப்போ எனக்கு சொல்லு, உங்களுக்கு 30,000 rupees காஸ்ட் பிரைஸ், அதை 36,000 rupees சேல் பண்ணிருக்குங்கிறான். அப்போ சேல் பண்ணா உனக்கு எதர் ப்ராஃபிட் வரணும் லாஸ் வரணும். இங்க என்ன வந்திருக்கு? ப்ராஃபிட். எவ்வளவு அமௌண்ட் ப்ராஃபிட் வேல்யூ? வெரி குட். அப்போ ப்ராஃபிட்னா எங்க காட்டுவோம்? டெபிட் சைடு காட்டுவோமா? ஸோ டூ பிஎன்எல் அக்கௌண்ட் ப்ராஃபிட் மென்ஷன் பண்ணி 6,000 ப்ராஃபிட் ரெக்கார்ட் பண்றேன். ஓகேவா? சரி. இப்போ வேற எதுவும் நமக்கு அந்த சம்ல இல்ல. எல்லாத்தையும் ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணிட்டோம். இப்போ நீங்க என்ன பண்ணுங்க? டோட்டல் பண்ணுங்க. ஓகே. இங்க 12 lakh plus 6,000 will give you 12 lakh 6,000. இங்க உங்களுக்கு 36,000 plus ஒரு 9 lakh 60,000 will give you 9 lakh 66,000. Am I right? ஓகே. ஸோ 9 lakh 66 தான் இருக்கு கிரெடிட்ல. ஆனா டெபிட்ல எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? 12 lakh 6,000 இருக்கு. எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? 12 lakh 6,000. அப்போ எவ்வளவு டிஃபரன்ஸ் வருதுன்னு பாருங்க. 12 lakh 6,000க்கும் 9 lakh 66,000க்கும் டிஃபரன்ஸ் எவ்வளவு வரும்? ஆ 2 lakh. ஆ ஆ நல்லா பாட்டு சொல்லு. அவசரப்படாம சொல்லு. 2 lakh 40 வருது. ஓகே. ஸோ தட் மீன்ஸ் இங்க ஒரு சின்ன டோட்டல் மிஸ்டேக். ஓகே. திஸ் இஸ் நாட் 2 lakh 10,000. This is 2 lakh 40,000. So there is nothing but since the credit side you are getting a short value, the only item can be recorded on the credit side is depreciation during the year. So that comes to 2 lakh 40,000. புரியுதா? So this is the end of this problem. I mean, fixed asset account. ஸோ அப்போ இதுக்கு முன்னாடி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம என்ன பார்த்தோம்? ஃபிக்ஸ்ட் அசெட் அக்கௌண்ட் பண்ணாக்க ஒன்று நமக்கு பர்ச்சேஸ் வேல்யூ கிடைக்கும். பர்ச்சேஸ் தான் கிடைக்கணும் இல்லை. ஃபார்மேட் பிரகாரம் எதெல்லாம் வந்துடுச்சு எது வரலையோ வராத இதுதான் பேலன்சிங் ஃபிகர். புரியுதா? ரைட். Now coming up to the last account under this particular problem. So what is the third account? Investment account. இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் வருது வேல்யூ எவ்வளோ இருக்கு? ஓப்பனிங் பேலன்ஸ் எவ்வளோ இருக்கு? ஓப்பனிங் பேலன்ஸ் எவ்வளோ இருக்கு? இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் வருது 1 lakh 50. அதை எங்க ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணுவோம்? டெபிட்லயா கிரெடிட்லயா? அது டெபிட்ல ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணுமா கிரெடிட்ல ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணுமா? இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் வேல்யூ. Credit line. Ah, so yes, yes. So now investment account to balance brought down 1,50,000 on the debit side. கையோட க்ளோசிங் பேலன்ஸ் எவ்வளோ இருக்குன்னு பாரு. இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட்டோட க்ளோசிங் பேலன்ஸ் 1,80,000. அது எங்க ரெக்கார்ட் ஆகும்? On the credit side. So on the credit side, you are recording as by balance C bar the 1,80,000. Okay. Let's see what else is given with respect to investment. Investment என்ன சொல்லிருக்காங்க பாருங்க இங்க. Investment costing 24,000 was sold during the year for what value? 25,500. அப்போ சேல் வேல்யூ எவ்வளவு? இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் ஒரு சேல் பிரைஸ் எவ்வளவு? இல்ல சேல் பிரைஸ் எவ்வளவு? செல்லிங் வேல்யூ எவ்வளவு? ஸோ சேல்னாக்க எங்க காட்டணும்? டெபிட்ல காட்டணுமா கிரெடிட்ல காட்டணுமா? கிரெடிட்ல காட்டணும். ஸோ இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் அக்கௌண்ட்ல பை பேங்க் சேல்ஸ் 25,500 ரெக்கார்ட் பண்றேன். இப்போ சேல் நடந்தா ப்ராஃபிட் கிடைக்கலாம் இல்ல லாஸ் கிடைக்கலாம். இந்த சமயம் ப்ராஃபிட் வந்திருக்கா லாஸ் வந்திருக்கா பார்த்து சொல்லு. எவ்வளவு ப்ராஃபிட்? 1,000. அது எங்க ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணணும்? டெபிட்டா கிரெடிட்டா? வெரி குட். ஸோ அப்போ இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் அக்கௌண்ட்ல டெபிட் சைட்ல டூ சாரி நாட் டூ பேங்க் ஹியர் டூ ப்ராஃபிட் அண்ட் லாஸ் அக்கௌண்ட் ப்ராஃபிட் ஆர் கெயின் சொல்லி ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணி 1,500. ஏதாவது இருக்கா? ஓகே. நவ் வி ஆர் க்ளோசிங் த அக்கௌண்ட். அப்போ இந்த சைடில் 25,500 ப்ளஸ் 1,80,000 இது ரெண்டையும் ஆட் பண்ணால் உங்களுக்கு எவ்வளோ வருது? 20 lakh 2 lakh 2 lakh 5,500. வேறஸ் உங்களோட டெபிட் சைடில் 1,50,000 ப்ளஸ் 1,500 ஆட் பண்ண எவ்வளோ வருது? 1,51,500. அப்போ டிஃபரன்ஸ் பாருங்க. இந்த 2,05,500க்கும் 1,51,500க்கும் டிஃபரன்ஸ் எவ்வளோ வரும்? What is the difference? The difference is 54,000, right? Hello? The difference comes to 54,000. Am I right? Vibhu? Hello, Vibhu? Hello? Vibhu, can you able to hear me? Hello? Yeah, no, I couldn't able to hear your voice. That's why I'm just repeating your name. Okay, I'm not able to see that since I am not in that screen, right? Fine. So here if you see, what is the balance that you get? You're getting a balance of 54,000 and that will be recorded as purchases. So it's a balancing figure. So you are done further purchase of investment for rupees 54,000 and thereby your account comes to a close with the same total. You got the concepts? So you have learned today in general what is a cash flow, meaning of cash flow, what is the accounting standard that is used to prepare the cash flow statement, and inflow of cash and outflow of cash are the two different flows, and what does the term cash and cash equivalent consist of, and then you have learned what are all the contents that you are going to do or learn under this chapter of cash flow statement, and you also got an idea about what are all the different accounts that has to be opened with respect to cash flow statement. There are four important accounts to be opened. They are fixed asset account, investment account, followed by that you have to open provision for tax account, and finally the account is fixed asset account and accumulated depreciation account. So you have learned the format of three accounts out of the four accounts for the day today. That means fixed asset account. Okay, what are the items to be shown in fixed asset account, debit side and credit side, and what will be the balancing figure that will be recorded as for fixed asset account. Either it will be purchase of fixed asset provided if your balance figure coming on the debit side. Suppose if your balancing figure is appearing on the credit side, you will be closing it as either depreciation if that is not available, or if depreciation is available and closing balance is available, and even the loss, suppose if they are given loss on sale of fixed asset, even that information is available, then obviously that balancing figure will be your sale amount. So it could be anything. ஸோ அப்போ டெபிட் சைடில் பேலன்சிங் ஃபிகர் வருதுன்னா அது வந்து உங்களோடது இல்லை ப்ராஃபிட்டாக இருக்கலாம். அப்படி இல்லைனாக்க தட் குட் பி த ஃபர்தர் பர்ச்சேஸ் வேல்யூவாக இருக்கலாம். ஓகே, இல்லை கிரெடிட் சைடில் உங்களுக்கு பேலன்சிங் வருதா இருந்தால் அது லாஸ் ஒரு வேல்யூவாக இருக்கலாம், இல்லை சேல் வேல்யூவாக இருக்கலாம், இல்லை டெப்ரிசியேஷனாக இருக்கலாம். டிபெண்ட்ஸ் அப்பான் வாட் இஸ் மிஸ்ஸிங் ஆஸ் பர் த ஃபார்மேட். And the investment account you are preparing it, only difference between your investment and fixed asset is your fixed asset will have depreciation or amortization item, whereas your investment will not have such depreciation or amortization. So that is the only difference between these two accounts. Apart from that, what is there in fixed asset, the same is only represent even in your investment account. There is no changes except the value of depreciation or amortization. And then the third account that we have prepared is provision for tax account. The provision for tax account is usually a liability account, and being a liability, the account balance will show a credit balance, that is opening balance, and the closing balance will be shown on the debit side. And then the ultimate objective of the provision for tax account is to find out what amount of tax has been paid, provided if the question has provision made for the year. Or if the question has given you the amount of tax paid for the year, then the balancing figure will be the amount of provision made during the year. Okay, so this is the concept for preparing your provision for tax account. So this is the crux of the concept. The one important account, that is your fixed asset account and provision for depreciation account, we'll discuss it in the next session, and we'll go for the format of CFS, and we'll go for the practical problems in CFS. So this we'll be completing it in the next session, which will happen tomorrow. Okay. So tomorrow probably I'll have a session in the late evening like this instead of morning, because morning there'll be one batch which will go ahead where I'm dealing with a change in profit sharing ratio. As of now, we have completed in that two segments: treatment of goodwill, and then treatment of your accumulated profits losses. And we also discussed upon the finding out of new ratio, gaining ratio, sacrificing ratio. All these three concepts got over. So we'll be working out on revaluation account, and also the new balance sheet preparation, and then we'll prepare the adjusted capital. These concepts in the morning tomorrow. Probably I'll send you a link. If you could join for that session, yes, no issues. You'll learn that also as a concept which you have for your exam. Okay, so you can get a knowledge on that. Probably in the late evening, around like 9 o'clock tomorrow, I'll try to schedule a session, and we'll discuss on the cash flow statement. So tomorrow I'll try to give two sessions, one for change in PSR and other is for the concept of CFS. Clear? Okay, ma. So with this, we'll close today's session. In the meanwhile, if you have any doubt before we close, you can get it clarified. Is there any doubt that you have carried upon? No? Able to understand? Have you taken the notes, whatever is being disclosed in today's session? Fine. Okay. Thank you, ma. Welcome. Bye.